The irresponsible generation of 1979 and the persistence of the illiterate Iranian middle-aged and elderly generation on the continuation of the comedy tragedy of the Islamic Revolution. Vigilantes, the resurgence of 2581. Rebirth. April 4, 2023 Tehran. In this time of crisis, we the committed nation of Iran, along with the brave young people of Iran, have demanded the overthrow of a bloodthirsty regime of the Islamic Republic, and to analyze the difficulties that have continued from the generation of 1979 and will be imposed onto the committed nation, the elite young generation of Iran and the constitutional parliamentary government in the future. In his interviews, Mr. Ardashir Zahidi has repeatedly mentioned the flattery and betrayal that the members of the government and those close to the Shah, including Ardashir Zahidi himself, had done to Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. This flattery and betrayal in the speech and behavior of those who are trying to get closer to the constitutional parliamentary system or those who hold meetings in Persian language media such as Manota TV, Iran International, Channel 1 TV, Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, Pal Talk, on Zoom, and parts of Instagram is still visible. The illiterate generation of 1979 that killed Mrs. Faroukhroo Parsa, killed pious and brave army officers such as Lieutenant General Nader Jahanbani, Major General Ali Nashat, Timsur Mehdi Rahimi, Timsur Nematollah Nasiri and other martyrs of the army, and the selfless statesmen such as the Prime Minister of Iran Amir Abbas Hoveyda or the Mayor of Tehran Gholamreza Nikpai, and with utmost ingratitude towards the services of the two great Pahlavi kings for building Iran, caused the Shah to leave Iran. The uneducated, ignorant, and dishonorable generation of 1979 that dragged Iran into an 8-year war and killed the young people of Iran, then appointed a handful of dishonorable and wandering bandits to positions of power to dominate the life, property and honor of the Iranian nation. This illiterate generation of 1979, with bad nature, bad intentions, and nothing to offer, is still responsible for murdering Iran's elite youth, and with its ignorance, is prolonging the existence of those responsible for imprisoning, torturing, and raping the brave youth of Iran. This illiterate generation, with the same insolence that was seen on the streets in 1979, today, by infiltrating various media, is putting up resistance against the people's movement and the system of the constitutional parliamentary. This illiterate generation, who are living in their elderly stage of life, along with some frustrated and lethargic middle-aged people, know very well that if the parliamentary constitution returns to Iran, when the young Iranian elite generation comes to power, they will no longer be able to satisfy their inferiority complexes through unprincipled interference in affairs, because this uneducated, unscrupulous, and dishonorable middle-aged and elderly generation is used to lumpenism, laziness, and talking nonsense, and is not willing to improve its scientific level and understanding of life. Because of the decisions of the two great men, the Pahlavi kings, for the development and progress of the country and with the national budget, this generation of illiterate Islamic terrorists were sent to Europe and America to study, but instead of learning science, they joined dirty religious terrorist associations and groups, such as Yasser Arafat, the terrorist-raising leader of the Palestinians, Muammar al-Qaddafi, the terrorist-making leader of Libya, or Hafez Assad, the Islamic slave-raising statesman in Syria, and after returning to their homeland, they started attacking the king and the nation. After the disaster of 1979, a group of these uneducated terrorists, dishonorable, Jakesh and Gormsaw persons were appointed ministers and lawyers in the country. Some of them joined the Mujahideen sect, and another group immigrated to other countries under the name of national, religious or monarchical groups. They continued their dirty work under the name of opposition. While what needs to be done with the deposed regime of the Islamic Republic and with the Mujahideen sect is clear, our problem today is with groups that, with different names, such as anti-monarchy or pro-monarchy, continue creating problems with their illiteracy and obscenity. If you look closely, you will not see any difference between the performance of the pro-monarchy groups and the behavior of the Mujahideen sect, because both suffer deeply of illiteracy and political poverty. In Farsi-language media outside Iran, from televisions that have been formed by the branch of Mahdi and Hossein Tayyib brothers, using revenue from oil sales abroad, to Los Angeles clownish televisions, they have all joined hands to work against the brave young people of Iran, the constitutional parliamentary government and the civilized and industrial world, who intend to support Iran with all their heart. Television such as Man to TV, and Iran International, and even media such as Germany's Hitlerism Deutsche Welle, the Niaki Voice of America, Ayatollah BBC of England, Hajat al-Islam of France's International Radio and Rabbi of Israel Radio have practically become the cradle of this illiterate generation, wherefrom they continue betraying the brave youth and the nation of Iran. Los Angeles clownish TVs, at the head of which is Channel 1 TV, managed by Shahram Homayan, known as Shahram Charlatan, and the television of People TV and the Dishonorable Showman, such as Alireza Mibadi Moncali, Arsen Lopeni such as Fakhraver, who is a puppet in the hands of the mysterious Dr. Manocher Ganji, a CIA agent, and other mysterious illiterate agents like Roxana Ganji, Saeed Sakoui the ignorant fascist, Reza Ahmadi, the hoaxer of Hitlerism in Germany, and the self-proclaimed journalist of this illiterate generation, whose only skill is to search and find yellow news from the social media, and whose voices come out through their butts, without energy and without having been educated on modern journalism, all with their dark and gloomy report cards, have practically become the puppets in the hands of the Revolutionary Guards, IRGC, and the servants to the Mojahedin sect, their only concern being filling their own pockets and continuing to betray the country and the committed nation of Iran. The situation in online platforms such as Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook is also dire. As an opposing force to the elite young people of Iran, who are trying day and night to create reforms by introducing philosophy, science and logic to these platforms, the traitors who include the Mujahideen with their usual clownish games on the one hand and other groups, including the fake spectrum of the pro-monarchist groups or the future dictators of so-called Republicans, the charlatans such as constitutional parties, nationalist or Meli Mazabi sects, we are witnessing that with obscenity, nagging, violence, malice, revenge-seeking and illiteracy, have been dragging these platforms through shit, by using money from the intelligence organization of the Islamic Republic or Sayyid Muhammad Khatami, Sayyid Khandan, or Niaki traitors such as Hisham Amir Ahmadi and Trita Parsi. We, the committed nation of Iran, together with the young people of Iran, want the withdrawal of this illiterate generation as soon as possible and the cleansing of government structures, both inside and outside of Iran. Cleansing the government structures of the illiterate generation that caused the disaster of 1979 and not only does not apologize, but projects blames onto the well-respected government of the former kingdom or blames the other countries. If this generation had read and understood Plato, Khayyam, Molana, Dostoevsky and Brzezinski's theories well, we would never have witnessed the massacre and genocide of Iran's elite youth in recent years, and today Iran would have been one of the most civilized countries. We, the youth of the generation of Massa movement, this is a code, want to clean this people's movement from the illiterate and flatterers. We want to see people at the head of this movement who are fully familiar with the political science, political philosophy and political logic of today's civilized and industrial world, who are fully familiar with the history of human civilization and science, and who are able to deal well with foreign enemies such as the French Bernard-Henri Lévy the handyman to globalists, Spanish separatist Josep Borrell, Iranian-Swedish Alireza Akhondi the finger puppet of the international banks, Maryam Rajavi of the Monafekin Khalq sect, Hamd Esmailiyun the indirect propagator of the Monafekin sect, and separatist organizations of Communal and Democrats. We, the committed nation, together with the brave young people of Iran, look to the future. We don't hold grudges, we don't seek revenge, and we don't want a solution through violent partisan behavior. Some of our goals include turning Iran into a civilized and refugee-friendly country based on international human rights laws. A country that welcomes refugees from other countries with open arms instead of exporting refugees. The continuation of Mohammadreza Shah Pahlavi's path, and the return of constitutional parliamentary government to Iran as soon as possible. Creating opportunities for elite Iranian youth and the true technocrats with real experience to accept the responsibility of making Iran great in every aspect of social, cultural, economic, geographical, environmental, international relations, legal, human rights and regional. Instead of spending the new year in cemeteries at the graves of their youth and always mourning, we want to see the Iranians to always be busy celebrating and dancing at home and on the streets. We, the committed nation of Iran, together with the brave young people of Iran, want a society without the presence of religious fanatics, without the presence of barbaric ignorant fanatics who have dragged the brave Iranian women into a new sexual and gender slavery under the pretext of hijab, and without the presence of the illiterate, delusional narcissists in our communities. Because the place of such people with such characteristics is either at home getting high on opium, as they are known for, or being hospitalized in mental hospitals. We, the committed nation of Iran, along with the brave young people of Iran, invite you, the zealous subversive nation, to conquer the streets to completely overthrow the remnants of the fallen regime of the Islamic Republic by singing your revolutionary hymns and with a dance like Kohinoor's dance, and conquer Tehran. We stand firm, stable, and strong in front of any threat and blackmail because we stand for the freedom of our compatriots, the elite young people of Iran from prisons, and the return of constitutional parliamentary government, honor and pride to the land of Iran, and the raising of the three-color flag with the symbol of lion and sun in our homeland, and the return of peace and tranquility to the Middle East region.